Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Houston Element Podcast. My name is Missy, and I'm your host. And today, we're going to have another special guest from the Houston nightlife culture, from the DJ production world, a true legend. If you don't know them, you're going to start following them. You've probably seen them at some of the incredible live nightlife events that have been here in Houston, if you've been following, especially been following Vox events. Today we have DJ, producer, Mike E. Legacy.
Hello. Nice to meet everyone.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely.
We're also joined here with his lovely fiance, Jukka. Thank you for joining us. So for those that are not familiar, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
All right. Well, I'm originally from New York. I'm a Yankee from Staten Island. And I started with music very young. My brother was a promoter in the New York City nightclub area, and I got hooked. Like, it was just in my genes. He took me to my first nightclub when I was very young, and the first thing I saw was the stage, and I was like, I got to get up there. I got to get up there. And then about 20, what am I, 40 now? About 20, 21 years ago, came to Texas. And within 6 months, I hit the Houston scene very hard. But I did it humbly. I didn't tell anybody who I was, or, I just, hey, I'm a DJ. Nice to meet you. Let me, earn my keep, more or less. No, I didn't come out here like, rah, rah, rah. This wasn't my stomping grounds, and I had to respect that. Texas is big, and Texas, you can make it in Texas, you can make it in anywhere.
I love that, man. So coming all the way here from New York to Texas. So aside from your love for the music scene, and, your artistry, what made you decide specifically to start your roots for your music career here in Texas?
Well, I started in New York. I started in New York. We were all young and dumb. I was underage, hitting up places like Sound Factory, Exit, Roxy, the China Club, Webster Hall. It could all be us. I owe a lot of it to my brother, because he got me my foot in the door. But as far as getting on stage and music production, being a DJ, I earned my keep in that. That's something I took very seriously. It's my release. It kept me out of trouble. I used to be at my house taking cassette tapes, and timing them, listening to KTU, and it was just, I got hooked. I got really hooked. And fun fact, this is starting to come out in the open now. I used to have severe stage fright.
Oh.
So, I used to put a strobe light in front of my face. So when the lights hit my eyes, I would look up and I wouldn't see nobody. So for a long time, people thought, people took it the wrong way, the way I was. It's like I would get excited, about doing something behind the decks. So I would do something wild, and I'd be like, and everybody was like, oh, he's showing off. And it's like, I don't even see y'all, and only one DJ actually got to see that like firsthand. His name was Zombie Blonde. I used to DJ out in the Orbit Room back in the day. And
Orbit Room.
I looked up, I was DJing and my lights went out. And I looked up and I said, oh my God, no. So I was running to the side of the stage. He's like, bro, you're killing it. I was like, move. And I started throwing up. He goes, man, you messed up drinking? Yeah, I started throwing up on the side of the stage. And he's like, are you messed up? You been drinking? I was like, no. He goes, what's the matter? I was like, I saw the crowd. He's like, what? Like, I got stage fright, bro.
Oh,
I was like, give me a flashlight. Yeah. And I just started recently, about 5 years ago, when I first, when I started making my way back into the scene. I started getting over it. Started really getting over it. Now I embrace it. I embrace seeing the crowd.
I love that. I love it, man. And I mean, that's not so unheard of for artists, whether you're a DJ, singer, instrumentalist, that you're not really into big crowds, because the artistry is something that comes personal from you, and you're gracious enough to share it with people. Probably because the feeling of creativity is so overwhelming, you got to just let it out, like sunshine,
Right.
So,
Adrenaline rush.
so yeah, I don't think you're the only one, but you are a brave toaster for still, persevering past that and continuing to share your art with us. So for that, we say thank you.
Thank you.
And so, can you tell us a little bit about your unique style of mixing when you're DJing, for example? What's really important to have elements in your work? Is it just kind of like depending on how the vibe is that day, what the crowd is feeling like that day?
My most important rule for me, rule number one, always have your headphones on. That's a big deal for me. I don't like monitors. I don't. I tell all the sound guys, turn my monitors off, face into the crowd. My headphones are doing the job. But when it comes to the music aspect of it, I like to crossbreed. Coming from New York, my main stomping grounds was Sound Factory. Jonathan Peters, that was my idol in New York. Just watching him and listening to his style, and his style just it grew on me because he used to mix like a lot of like progressive trance with like progressive house and house music, and that always like resonated with me. But I took a harder approach with it. Started doing what I like to call Trouse, techno house and trance. So I would get that that house feel, house music, yeah, with the trance, the melodic trance, but that hard techno drive, and it just that hard sound really resonated with me. And especially with, like I said, being on stage, being my release, it really, I showcased that. People saw that. I like to think a lot of my friends, who used to follow me throughout the years, they used to say things like, dude, you're like a caged animal up there, like a lion coming out the jungle. Like, it's never anything personal. It's just, growing up in the music scene in New York, no matter what slot you had to show out. You had to earn your keep, and every week, people in New York, they would know, hey man, you wore those jeans last week, bro. Like, you know what I mean? So you always had to come fresh and hard, and, I came from an era where if you opened up for the headliner, you played your heart out. You went balls to the wall, gave it everything you got, because that's how that's how the headliner got there. Playing hard, going all in, you know what I mean? And it's something that I don't agree with these days, because I hear it a lot, like, oh, whoever opens up for the headliner, you gotta, ease them in, work them in. I'm like, no, make them sweat. That's why he got there, it's your roots, make him sweat. Remind him that's where I was at one point, and that's honestly one of the one slots I can't stand. I hate the headlining slots, or even nowadays, like, opening up for headliners, because let's be honest here, in the scene, people tend to forget, at that hour, things start overtaking them, and you ask them the next day, hey man, how's the headliner? Bro, the show was great. The lights, the lights, the lasers, everything. I was like, okay, but how was the DJ? How was the music? What did he play? Or what did she play? 90% of the time, they can't even remember that, So like, I would rather much be, either a warm up, hell, even an opener. I'll play any slot, truthfully, but if I had my choice, don't give me the headline spot. I want to be remembered.
My heart goes out to you guys, because it shouldn't be that way. People that are going to, whether it's a DJ set, an opera, Broadway, music concert, you're supposed to go there because you want to see the show. You want to experience the show.
Right.
And I'll admit, I've gotten mad at myself sometimes. I'm like, man, I had too many beers, and now I can't remember the show. And I'm like, dang it, Melissa, you had one job. Okay. You know, you paid for the experience not to go and get to the wind at the
Right.
experience, you know? So,
We're all young.
yeah, we were all young and silly once, you know what I'm saying? But you
Mhm.
know, I don't know if it's because of the streaming culture or the YouTube culture, whatever it is that people are just like, oh, well, you know, I don't need to go see them live. I can just watch it on TV. I'll just
I
wait
blame
till
COVID.
yeah, that
I
too now,
really do.
especially.
I blame COVID. COVID was the birth of the bedroom DJ.
Mm, oh man.
But I have to respect it because, you know, if you do it right, you know, and you have a nice setup or, you know, you put some effort into it, yeah, you can be heard worldwide if you do it right, though. You have to do it right.
Exactly. I mean, during COVID, yeah, I watched some of my favorite artists, you know, stage entertainers, you know, on streaming, things like that, because I still wanted to support them, you know, because that's important to me. Not just if I can't make it to the physical show, okay, but I still want to support them somehow, whether buying, you know, their disc or you know merch or things like that, or watching them on stream, things like that, because I'm just that passionate about you know live entertainment. Like that's my jam. Um,
Right. I haven't heard CD in a long time. I just found
oh,
my CDs. I found all my books. We were going through my storage unit, and she goes, "What's this?" And I was like, "Oh my god!" It's like, "There's my CDs."
oh my God! I'm so
It's
glad
so
I found
nostalgic.
them.
Yeah, yeah. Because I put everything up. You know, is that I left everything at my mother's house and my grandmother's house in their attic because that's one place you will never lose anything. You know,
Mm.
she still got my birth certificate and everything. You know, so that was always a safe haven for me. I still got hard drives there with music that I composed almost 23 years ago. And I
Wow.
just recently, when we moved in together, I came across all this. And I'm like, yeah, it's time to start busting out the old school stuff, you know, because I've got tracks that even now, you know, I'll play out shows and people hit me up, dude. Who's that? What's that? I was like, you like that? I was like, yeah, I made that 19 years ago. You know, thank you. I really appreciate it. You know,
Well, I mean, I've heard an example from a couple of musicians before that they're like, well, you know, it's only you can only have so many chords, so many transitions, you know, things like that. You just got to kind of mix it up. You got to get creative.
right,
You know, it's all about you know the delivery and things like that. But again, with like this digital age now, where you know people aren't even using external hard gear in their studio, they're using all digital plugins, things like that, or whatever, or MIDI stuff and MIDI samples and things like that. It's like it all sounds the same. Well, that's digital for you, sweetheart. It's not
right.
always going to be that way, but if you are creative enough, producer, DJ like yourself, you know how to, you know, almost like a fashion designer, you know how to reinvent the wheel, even if it's the same pattern.
I just had this conversation with a brother of mine, Douglas. He's Keely's Art of Vox, his wife's brother, uh, Douglas Walker.
Mm.
And you know, we were getting familiar with each other because we're going to actually start working on some music together. And he's like, "So, Mike, tell me, man, like, you know, how do you produce, compose? You know, what do you do?" And I said, "I'm going to blow your mind right now. I do it old school and I do it the hard way. I hear something outside, for example, like I'll hear a bird in a car pass by. I'll record that on a microphone. I'll record that and work on it from scratch. You know, I've got guitars now, keyboards, like everything I do, I try to keep it original because you can't fake that. You can't imitate that at all. Right. You know, and I've always, you know, I love being a DJ. But the title, you know, the past, honestly, 15 years, in my humble opinion, the title DJ, it almost got tainted there for a second, you know, because back in the days, that was like, you know, oh, you're a DJ? Wow. You know, now it's like you know, back in New York, we call it the Me Too thing, you know, like, oh, you got a Mustang? Oh, me too. It's like, yo, you're a DJ? Oh, me too. You know, so I try to really veer away from putting DJ in front of my name because people will tell you they see me perform in Houston. I will bust out a live instrument on stage just randomly, just to keep it pure. Because going back to how I work on my music, I leave a lot of openings in my tracks. I have a lot of unfinished tracks for that reason, to freestyle more or less on stage. It's like whatever I'm feeling in that moment, I'm just gonna play it out. Because a lot of these kids these days, nothing wrong with it. Practice makes perfect and all that. But, they used to always ask me, hey, man, did you plan your set? You know what you're going to play tonight? Nope. No clue. I just know my first track is my opener. What happens after that? It's from here. I never plan my set. And it's terrifying, but that's what keeps me on my toes. And that's what really, like, a lot of people just go up there to DJ and it's like, oh, woo. And it's like you're making a job. And I've always said throughout the years, and anybody I took under my wing, do not treat it like a hobby. Do not chase it. Do not treat it like a job, and don't chase it. Just treat it like a hobby. Just let it happen naturally. Things happen overnight. Yeah, you might be at the right place, right time. I was fortunate enough to be there. Get lucky like that, but let it happen naturally. Just let it happen. If you chase it, you're gonna get stressed. Yes, chase that dream. Don't ever stop chasing your dreams, but sometimes you just gotta kick back and just let in time, good things come in time. And fortunately, this year, everything I've been planning for a long time it's finally happening. Long story short, I became a single dad for a few years, and I stopped DJing. I left the scene completely. Just see ya. Didn't say a word. Just walked away to raise my kid. And growing up, I always told them, when I turn 40, those are going to be my prime years. Everybody says the early 30s, whatever. No, 40 for me was going to be my prime years, and he's going to be old enough to understand and appreciate what it is I do. Because he used to meet all these DJs back in the day, and they used to tell, who your dad is? I'm like, he's like, oh, my dad's crazy, And now he's starting to see it, and he's like, wow. And I'm like, I told you. I even told her when we first met, I was like, 40 is going to be the year for me. Like, I've been planning this. In the past 5 years, I've been dropping cookie crumbs, just making random appearances. Hey, nice to see you guys, Things have changed. And this year, I turned 40 in January 6th. How long ago? Like, when did this kick off? About a month, maybe 2 months ago, roughly? 2 months ago, within a matter of 5 days, I looked at her and said, I told you this was going to happen. What I've been planning was, what I've been doing for the past almost decade was kicking back, working on music, learning production, not only music production, stage production, visuals, just getting full knowledge of it, and not only that, just getting my hands on things. About 2 months ago, I finally was fortunate enough to obtain main stage production, speakers, stage lighting. Just to be honest, I am fully capable of hosting a festival stage, which is happening. As soon as I got a hold of this stuff, I put a post up, and I'm booked for the next 6 months. And I'm now partnering up Vox, my big brother Art, HTX. He sent Connexus out here to start the Austin, Texas chapter. And he said, get with Mike. So me and Connexes got together, and I told him we got together at the right time because he had something to provide. I had something to provide. We both have something to offer, and it's big. We'll be showing and promoting it here, whenever I can. But we are going to be hosting festivals on almost a 30-acre camping ground. This place has the capability to host at least almost, if we stretch it out right, at least 8 stages. There's a river, camping grounds, and next week on Saturday, right? This coming Saturday is Connex's birthday at the location. So we're going to be putting a flyer out, and it's just going to be like, just the last minute, hey, happy birthday. But I'm going to set up my whole stage there. Like, I'm going to bust it out. I've been waiting for this. You have no idea. And the first official main event is going to be in June 13th and 14th, right? No. Austin, yeah. June. Yes, June 13th and 14th. It's called L.A.S.R Terra. And there's going to be, as of right now, there's going to be 2 stages. And I'm going to be hosting the warehouse stage. And it's showtime. Like, I've been waiting for this for so long. And it's really exciting. I've got, I'm not going to bust out any names yet, but I've got a few old schoolers that are coming back to make an appearance for me. And this is going to be a monthly thing. So, everybody who has access to my social medias, keep a lookout. Look out for Vox, ATX, HTX. There's going to be announcements here soon. We're going to be doing this monthly. It's going to be big. And starting this week, actually, is going to be open decks there because we're going to be looking for some talent to play future festivals that we're planning.
Ooh, how exciting. How exciting. All right. If you are a DJ producer, you need to listen. You need to network with Legacy over here. Okay. Bring that music heat with you.
Yeah.
I resonate a lot with what you said. It's like, not trying to disrespect any other kind of form of DJs or producers, of the newer generation, I'll say. But like, for example, one of my favorite examples to use is like the example of the DJ producer, DJ Screw. Okay. Back when he started his career, it was all vinyls and cassette tapes. Okay. Right. And the reason why just any old Joe Blow, Jane Blow can't be a DJ is because y'all hands are like surgeons. You had to just ever so lightly and in harmony spin that vinyl. Yes, and now they have just the Pioneer boards with the digital, the digital disc where the vinyl used to go, and that's fine. That still takes technique.
It's being misutilized. It's being misutilized. I've been, throughout these years, I've been kicking back. Everybody knows about the whole vinyl versus controller digital thing, right? And I'm sitting there looking at prices. I'm like, why does this controller cost anywhere from, you can get a cheap one for like a couple $100, but a quality one, why are these things almost $5,000? Why? What am I missing here? What is everybody missing here? You know what I mean? So I come from, I had 1200 techniques. I come from the old school, but I've progressed. I came from a time where, the 80s, I grew up in the, I hit the scene hard, I came up in the 90s. So I had the best of both worlds. So I was able to grow into this digital world. But something was bothering me about, why does this controller cost almost $5,000? Why? What is so special about it? So I dug in deep. Depending on what programs you use, what DAWs you use, whatever, what have you, these things are made for live production. Not only DJing, but they have the capability for live production. And a lot of these kids are misutilizing it because they're just playing track for track. little do they know, some of these things have light programs in there where you could run lighting simultaneously. Not only that, they have native instruments is my favorite thing. I love native instruments because they have programs that are compatible with Tractor to where you can play live instruments. And once I figured that out, it all made sense to me. I'm like, all right, this is giving artists the capability to not only mix, but compose on the fly, or even when you're at your home or in your little studio, you have production capability right in front of you. And you're just playing two tracks, you're playing two tracks. And that's where I feel like, coming from the old school, why the old schoolers don't appreciate these controllers, and I get it. I really do. But once I figured that out, I turned into a mad scientist. I turned into a madman. Like, I was like, oh my God, I can freestyle. I can just, on the fly. And, there's this whole thing with the sync button. And, Art will tell you, every time he puts, there's always somebody putting something up there with like, oh, sync DJs. And I always put it, I can do both. Get you a man that can do both, okay? Who can mix and sync, okay? Because I sync up, and then I had one kid ask me, his name is Anthony. He was the only kid that asked me, why do you use sync? Why does everybody hate sync on that post? And I was like, thank you for asking me that. Now I can let this out. I was like, thank you, bro. Let me tell you why. You have all these, these programs and you have all these buttons and everything for a reason. The sync button, yes, it is cheating if you cheat. If that makes sense. It's cheating if you cheat. But it's also, it's really a tool because I can have two tracks going while I'm playing a live instrument, while I'm doing live production or composing on the spot. It's supposed to, it's supposed to basically give you 8 arms. And that's how, okay. In my opinion, it's a way of giving you 8 arms to you where, you're not only, I can take 2 vocals and slam them on one track while the back track is something from something in the 90s or something. It's literally production in your hands. And ever since I discovered that, I love vinyl. I don't miss it. Lugging those crates, and especially in New York, I don't miss it. I do not miss it, but I respect it because, I never forget where I came from. That's what taught me how to mix. And I tell these kids this, learn vinyl because literally vinyl is teaching you not only how to mix, but it's mix and mastering. It's mixing and mastering. And I tell everybody, how to mix and master? Yeah. How do I go about doing it? Jump on some turntables. You'll learn real quick. Mm-hmm. You'll learn real quick what mixing and mastering is, but you either got it or you don't. And that's where that's what I miss about the old days. Oh, you're a DJ, man. Now it's like, I can do it. And it's just yeah.
No, I feel you on that. I don't come from a DJ producer background. I graduated from a sound engineering program and started doing podcasting as a way to develop my mixing and mastering technique, and also because whether you're a DJ, sound engineer, play in a band, solo project, practice. You don't just go up on stage and just magically know how to patch everything and set everything up and run it, Right. It's okay to freestyle, like you said, but you're not just freestyling for your first time, like Bambi walking first time. No. You're freestyling based on prior experience and your development and, of course, your skill. So some people may think, any old Yahoo can just go and do a podcast nowadays. And it's like, what's the big deal? I'm like, I beg your pardon, I had done a gig once as a DJ from a sound engineer perspective, which, and you can also share that too. Like there's a sound engineer that's DJing like at a wedding, just in your playlist, and then there's a DJ that you're hiring that's actually a DJ producer like yourself that knows how to mix the projects they've already mixed before in the studio before coming there, adding freestyle elements, things like that, and bringing a whole nother vibe kind of thing. So when somebody contracted me asking me, hey, can you be a DJ for our set that we're going to be doing? I was very transparent. I was like, you do understand I am not a turntable DJ. I am not a producer. My aspect of DJing is just reinforcing the backtracks. I don't have a turntable desk. I have an audio mixer. If that's okay with you, I can do it. But I'm letting you know in case your vision for something, for an actual DJ,
you want music or you want a show?
Exactly. So I appreciate you explaining in detail the difference in that, because and I can imagine you probably did not have that many loading docks in New York at the gigs that you went to. So lugging all those vinyls was a pain in the butt. Yep. And God bless you if you had to bring lights and truss. Oh my. Yep. In the world of no loading docks and carrying that stuff up the stairs, I know that was a pain in the butt. But all of that was what brought the show, layers and dynamics. And, I love that. And I appreciate that, and yes, I'm a production nerd. So of course I'm looking at the lighting and the video setup and the cable management and things like that. But I want to remember the music, the art, the show, the artists that were presenting that, Yeah.
See, I love what you just said, because growing up, my mom used to chase me into clubs in the middle of the night. You know how my son is? Get his ass in, So I pretty much grew up in the scene. Like I grew up in the music scene, and I always visualized it like, man, what if the DJ could do this and this simultaneously, And throughout the years, I've always brought that to the table. I found ways to put on a show. Mm-hmm. Now, finally, I'm capable of doing everything I wanted to do back in the day, just by learning the production side of things. And people see that now. I just spun at the book signing for the Last Club Kid. And I was with one of my old schooler, DJ Alibi. I met Alibi when I first came to Texas, and I had to go through that. I had to go through the Relapse group. Like, oh, you're a DJ, huh? I was a kid. I was 20 years old when I met them. They're like, oh, you're a kid, huh? All right. DJ. Oh, okay. See what you got. So, they took me into Eddie Wayne's house in his studio, and we used to go for hours just jamming, and they would set me up. Like, okay, yeah. Can you play this? Yeah. Can you use this? You know what this is? Oh, hell yeah. And Alibi used to love that about me. And to this day, he still says, he's like, I love that about Mike, that he just dives in. He knows, in his words, I'm a master of my craft. Like, there ain't nothing you can put in front of me that I don't know how to use or utilize. It just makes it that much more fun, honestly. But also, in my opinion, it keeps me, my performances and my skills as an as a DJ, it keeps it pure. Nobody can ever say I sound the same or I sound like someone else. And that's what I go for. I never want to sound the same. I never want to do the same thing twice. And I don't ever want to sound like someone else. That's what separates, any DJ. They have their sound. They have the way they perform. And now I've got a controller now that has I've got about 3 mixers and I don't want to break it out. I'm trying to hold it back, but everything you need. It's everything.
Please don't. Don't hold back. If there's anybody to nerd out about gear with, it's this one right here. So
All right. So I picked up the new Denon, which is the SC4 Live. And the first thing I always do is I dig. I start digging. And I started running my own lights. Like I used to add lights to, my thing was when I used to DJ at certain raves, I used to always bring my own table and my own gear. I'd be like, that's the first thing. They hit me up. Hey, can you come out? Yeah, I'm bringing my own stuff. But we already have a stage. It's cool. I'll bring a stage to put on the stage. I need my own. I need to be in my own atmosphere. I need to be in my own atmosphere, and I need to have my own gear because I know what I can do with it, and I can put on a show that I'm wanting to put out. So I used to bring a little extra lights and bring my little table, and I had to do things the hard way. I had to build switches to where I used to plug in certain lights to where I hit the switch and hit certain lights, Mm-hmm. And I did things the hard way, but I loved it. My thing is, if you ain't sweating, you're not working. If I see a DJ get off stage and he's not breaking a sweat or wearing his headphones at that, yeah, and some people have that talent. Sometimes we're forced to, get on stage without headphones, for many reasons, get robbed or something, or forget them at home. But if you ain't sweating, you're not working. You're just up there just playing music. I break a sweat. Anybody knows I break a sweat. I go for putting on a show. So when I picked up this new controller, started digging, and just so happened to have an option for a light program. So not only is it a controller, it has a light program built in it, to where you can control your lights from your decks.
Nice.
And that changed everything for me, because there's certain things that you notice as as a producer. Just because it says this plug-in right here, you plug this in is for this light specifically. No. So I started testing the waters. Plug in this guitar because it has the same, it works. Oh, okay. So I could do music, lights, and live instruments at the same time, simultaneously. So now that just took everything, made my life so much easier now. So now I don't have to hit and switch. I can focus more on music and putting on a show. Missy, I'm telling you right now, I cannot wait to showcase my setup and what I got. I cannot wait, because I love to perform. I love being on stage. I love to sweat. I just love that. That's my freedom. It's my freedom, my world. And now I can actually do it fully. Nothing holding me back. And I'm so excited. I try to show, I'm always open to show people. I never use the word teach. If you're a DJ, I will, I'm not teaching you anything. I'm just showing you what you already know. I will only show you what you already know. You use this thing every day. Mm-hmm. You know how to use this. You know what you're doing. This is, you just overlook this. And oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait. I'm like a kid. I'm like a big kid right now. Plus, everything's going good in my life, so it's really like, I had like a really humbling experience the other day at that at the L.A.S.R Club Kids show. I almost broke out in tears, because it's like, I worked hard for this, and people still remember me. They remember me as a kid and how I progressed over the years. And she finally got, because I've been talking about Alibi for a long time with her. It's like that. I introduced her, and I was like, now you understand what I mean, like why I'm getting emotional about this. Like, everybody remembers. They still remember how I got down. I stay true. I stay true to the music and to the scene.
It's okay. Different strokes for different folks. If some people are like, well, I'm not that into music, or I'm not that into DJs or producing, whatever, I'm into X, Y, or Z. That's all fine. But if you can't appreciate, if you have eyes and ears and you cannot appreciate the quality of work and the amount of passion and dedication that goes into those kind of production things, you're crazy. Even if it's not your thing, how could you not notice all the hard work and passion that goes into that? And that's why I like anything to do with live production as well. That's why I prefer to run sound for live events than in the studio. Sorry, people. I just, because like you said, I like sweating. I sweat like a sinner in church. And then people are like, are you all right? I'm like, I'm good. I'm actually living my best life over here. I'm sweating like all, the salt out of my body, but I am living my best life right now. Yeah. And I know what you mean about what you said about, your last gig at the Last Club Kid book signing, because I built an audio rack of my own, my first digital rack of my own recently after years of working with other companies, and I took my rig out on the field and I did a gig and it went great. People were like, oh, yeah, the sound was great. I'm like Chud Nelson, like, yes. Nothing is more satisfying than that. People think like, I don't know why you take it. It's everything. It's everything. Yeah. We're not just running sound for a wedding or DJing for a rave. We're making memories that people are going to remember for decades. They're going to be telling people one day, like, I don't know what was going on, but I remember I was here. I was seeing so-and-so. I was listening to this, and the vibe was just everything. Yeah. That's beautiful, man.
I'm getting choked up right now. I'm sorry.
No. You're good. I get all into this too. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big, sappy Sally too, so don't mind me kind of thing. But, I really appreciate all of you guys that work, in production, live events, things like that. I appreciate my studio folks too. Don't get me wrong. It's just that type of artistry is just so unique and pure. You can go to 12 studios and they're not the same. You can talk to 12 DJs. They're not the same. 7 concerts with the same band, same headliner, and it's not the same.
Same.
At all. If people want to spend $300 on a purse and that makes you feel good, go with God, baby. I ain't judging you. You know what I'm saying? But for me, if I got $300, I'm like, man, who's coming to town? What events are going on this weekend? Okay, I'm ready to go to the shows, baby. I don't care if I'm in rags on some Cinderella BS. I'm going to the show. I'm going to the show. And half the time, yes. And I mean, and I go to stuff by myself. I'm like, they're like, you're not worried about getting in trouble? I'm like, no, I'm worried about missing the show. Move. I gotta go. Yeah, I already heard the first lineup. I gotta go.
Yep. Deadass. Yep.
Now, I've been admiring your gear behind you, by the way, and I noticed you got a beautiful line array set up over there. You got your widescreen back there set up, kind of thing. So, can you tell us a little bit about your particular setup that you like to have on a regular basis? Things that are really important. Like you said, you brought your own gear to the last gig that you went as well.
Yeah, I brought a quarter of it. I brought a quarter of it and only got to play, a quarter of the sound. For years, I've been, I won a slot on the Yellow Brick Tour about maybe 3-4 years ago. And I was just then starting to get my gear in line. And the day after the event, I got robbed at a hotel.
Oh my God.
A bunch of guys kicked the door in, put a shotgun in my face, and the first thing I said, just take it. I said, just take it. Just take it. You want to laugh about it, because I laugh about it now. I was kind of using the bathroom at the time, and I was like, dude, I'm not getting taken out on a bathroom, on a toilet. Just go. Just take it, man. Like, just take it, man. And it hit me hard, but I saw it as one of those where it's like I came from nothing. I started out with just headphones and 2 CDs before, or 2 records, or what have you. I can get this back. I can make this happen again. This time I can go about it differently, because over the years I always used to like to hang around. I was never into politics or groups. You know, I would show up, my people would be there, ooh, 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 but I would do my thing, and leave. But throughout the night, I'm in the back. I'm in the shadows, watching the production, watching how everything works. You know, and watching and just asking questions. It's one thing people don't do anymore. They don't ask questions. You know, I used to sit there. You know, I got to know people at the clubs. Hey, man, I see you every week. What are you doing? What is this board? You know, I'm just curious. You know, and either you listen or you don't. I used to dig. I used to dig. So what does this do? What is this capable of? Why is it here? Why is it over here? Why do you have it set up this way? Why don't you do this? You know, I used to dig. And I obtained all that knowledge to where, like, yo, I always said, I was like, I'm going to have my own production. I'm going to be able to have, you know, it's not going to be big at first. You got to start somewhere, but I am going to run a stage eventually the way I want to and put on a show that I know I'm capable of. Everybody's different. You know, I learned to wear 1,000 masks over the years. I learned how to just, you know, talk to people, approach people a certain way, you know, and I learned. I just watched and I observed, and I listened. Now, I was fortunate enough, like I said, to I earned my keep. I earned everything I have, and I got blessed. And now I have sound to run a stage, working my way up to be able to run a main stage. I've got 2 subs right here with 6 speakers, but what you don't see are the 8 speakers behind that projector screen back there that I built. And you know, our son, if he gets here and, you know, from school on time, if we're still talking, he will tell you he came over here yesterday because I just wanted to crank it a little bit. I haven't broken this thing in yet. So, you know, I have neighbors. I live across the street from 2 cops, a sheriff, and a constable. So, you know, I have to, you know, be respectful. So I cranked it up just a quarter. And I put actually a post on Facebook. And her son came, Mike, what's up? We heard you down at the creek. The creek is not just down the road. The creek is way down there. I said, are you serious? He said, yeah. We were like wondering, what's that? And he was like, yeah, that's Mike. That's got to be Mike. And he came running up and he was like, we heard you down at the creek. I'm like, are you serious? And I've only turned it up a quarter. I have multiple projection screens now. I've got 30 to 50 foot poles that hold lights. Like, and a lot of this stuff was given to me by people I know over the years. For example, when I got robbed, I didn't tell nobody I lost all my gear. I just wasn't taking any bookings. I was just like, oh man, you know, I was going through it by myself. And one of my friends that, you know, put me onto the scene, a different part of the scene. Shout out to Rabbi. He called me up and was like, what's up, man? Like, what's going on? Because me and him were really close at one point, and we still are. It's my brother. But I opened up to him. I was like, man, I got robbed. I said, what? I said, I got robbed. They took everything. And you didn't tell me? You didn't tell nobody? I was like, I'm not going to bring my misery on anybody else. I'm just going to man up. I've been through this, done this before. I can make it happen again. That man ended that conversation by saying, you're going to have a package delivered tomorrow, and hung up the phone on me. Wow. 24 hours later, he sent me 2 decks, a mixer, and said, get back to work. From there, it just started all coming back to me. Everybody that I've done things for, you know, I used to do some shows. I always tell everybody this, you got to give to get. You have to give to get. You have to earn to keep. You have to give to get. And that I stress that. I've done a lot of free shows. I had a couple of kids one time they lost their USB, they lost their music, and shit. Take mine. What? Take mine. But we're gonna play. It's like, no, we're gonna play the same tracks, but we are not gonna sound the same. But go ahead. Don't miss out on your opportunity to be on stage, brother. Get up there, play your ass off. Matter of fact, keep it. What? Like, it's like 200 tracks on there, bro. Have fun. You know, You ain't got headphones? Here you go. I always bring an extra, pair of everything. There are shows that I would show up with a backpack, extra wires, backup wires. I would have everything on standby just in case, because that's what plur is. Being there for your brother or your sister. That to me, that's the definition of plur. I would always just be there and just randomly. And people would be like, really? Like, yeah, don't worry about it. Plur, have fun. Here's a beat. And, I've done shows for free. There was times where the people fell out the lineups, and I'm there. I'm on my way. I've given up my slot to a couple of DJs before, where something just went wrong with theirs. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm good. What? Have fun, bro. Have at it. And these past few years, they say, when you do good, it comes back tenfold. It has. It has, and it's really humbling, but it's also like, it hits hard because it's like, wow, they remembered. I looked out for them. Now they're really looking out for me. But they looked out for me big time. When I say big time, like I said, Rabbi sent me equipment. My old boss was like, you do shows, right, bro? I'm like, yeah. He goes, come to my storage unit. I used to work construction. Like, all right. He hands me 7 or 8 30 to 50 foot poles that you can hang up lights on. He's like, yeah, we use these to hang lights and stuff like that. You can put lasers and shit like that on. I'm like, yeah. It's like, yo, are you serious? He's like, yeah, no charge. Just take it. Just get it out, man. Just get away from me. Okay, no problem. And in my backyard, I'm just sitting there testing the waters, putting up lights, seeing what I can hang on it, what I can't. What can this take? Oh, there's a storm tomorrow? I'm hanging that shit up. I want to see what it can take. God forbid, because you got to be able to, adapt to your environment. It drives her nuts, but when I set things up or I'm playing, setting up new toys or whatever, I set up in the dark. I never have a light on. I have like lasers lights on, lasers or strobes or whatever, but I set up in the dark because God forbid something happens at the show, I have to be able to identify and know where everything is and how to work it in my atmosphere. I'm not going to turn lights on and kill the vibe for everybody. I do everything in lights, touch, feel, memory, and I put my heart into learning the production side of putting on a show. And that's what I've been waiting for since I was a kid, to be able to get on stage and be like, all right, this is my stage now, I get to do it, this is going to be my playground. Let me show you what I can do with it, And I have a lot. Okay, I'll give you this much. On the June 13th and 14th show, I'm setting the stage up in the middle of the dance floor.
Really?
Yeah, it's not going to be boiler room status.
Okay.
It's not going to be boiler room. It's going to be boiler room status, quote unquote, but it's not. It's going to be a 360 stage. It's going to be a full 360
Is it going to be?
Stage.
Is the bottom of the stage floor going to be able to rotate, or is it just going to speaker alignment is going to be 360? I'm
going to have speakers. We'll set the speakers up in a circle, but also I'm going to have multiple decks to where you can perform in a 360.
Oh, that just sounds so nasty in all the good ways.
Yeah,
oh my God.
I wanted I'm approaching stage production like a playground. like a big playground, and I'm testing the waters with a lot of things, and it's all doable. And the one thing I've learned over the years is people think I'm crazy sometimes, because I'll come up with these wild ideas. They're like, oh my, yeah, he's crazy, yo. Right? Thank you. Appreciate that. But 2 or 3 months down the line, I'm not so crazy.
Mm.
What you thought I couldn't do, I'm doing. So I've learned, yeah, maybe I should start, taking into consideration that those ideas that seem dumb or just like, that's crazy. Those are the ones that are working for me right now. And it's bringing something different to the table. The last show and the show that I put on a few years back, I let all the DJs know, hey man, play your sets and everything, but at the end of the night, we're gonna play round and robin. What? Why not just start closing the shows with all the DJs on stage going 2 for 2, feeding off each other, starting with the opening DJ, round and robin. You get to see the DJs one more time. And I did that at the last show that I keep forgetting the name of it. The last Club Kid show. It was me, Alibi, and Nuts, DJ Nuts. And me and Alibi, Alibi, as soon as he sees me, he's like, we're going to do it. I'm like, yeah. And there's this guy, DJ Nuts, I guess that was the first time he ever experienced something like that. I'm like, yo, we're going to go 2 for 2. And he's like, all right. And I love that. I love when somebody's just like, let's go. Let's dive right in. Don't question fun. Don't question fun. Just have fun. And that's how I'm treating the production side of things. So I'm going to be testing the waters a lot and bringing something different, something different. I'm also doing merchandise now. Part of what I've been working for is, music, production, stage production, sound, merchandise. And I just so happen to be a chef. So I'm just going to say, I'm finally capable of running my own production company, more or less, and doing it with less hands in the pot. She's going to be basically handling all the money and the paperwork. I just want to have the fun. So at the shows, I'm going to be providing, offering and providing food vending, merchandise. It's like a family business type thing. And we're going to be doing screen pressing on the spot. So, we're not just going to only have our merchandise or what we want to sell. We're going to give people the opportunity to, what do you want on the shirt? What do you want on your hat? We'll make it right here on the spot. And I'm finally capable of doing this. And when I called up Art, and I put up the post online, everyone was like, "What? Good." I hit up Art. I was like, "Big bro, I'm back. I'm back, and I'm back with a whole lot more to offer to help make our family and our stage and our show big." Because Art, you already know, Art and Vox, he masterminds the show. But I want to make it bigger. I'll do anything. And, he knows that. They'll tell you, I'm the Vox soldier. Vox soldier. I represent Dragon's Breath Vox. I represent to the core. My loyalty is to Art. And I told him, I'm here to make us bigger. Only because, and it might be a little selfish of me. It's only because I want to do it. I want to make a playground on stage. He tells me, Mike, we're good, bro. But knowing me, I'm still gonna bring my gear. I'm still gonna bring my gear just because. Kind of force it. Like I got a little extra stuff. Just because I love it. I love the scene, and now I'm able to really be fully a part of the scene. in all aspects. I also have visuals now. I just picked up a visual program that I just so happen to know someone who, I respected him. Gave him his respect. He taught my son how to run visuals at Nat Nugent's birthday. Shout out to Nat. My son came to the birthday party, and I was like, yeah, now you get to see me, meet Art, your Uncle Art, Keely, and everybody in Vox. Now you're going to, you're old enough to understand this stuff. So now you're going to see. You're going to meet everyone now. And at that show, dude was there running lights, the visuals and stuff. He's like, hey, man, you mind if I take your kid and, show him a little something up there? Because he just seems really interested. I said, please do. Go. Because he knows music. He started DJing when he was 4 years old. Started writing, reading music when he was 6. He knows music. But I want, I will never force what I did, on him. I want him just, do his own man. But he really got into production side of stuff. So when I went on stage to go DJ for the birthday party, I turned around, my son's running visuals. And I was like, bro, thank you so much. I appreciate this. A week later, he's like, hey, man, I want to give your son that program. I was like, for real? He goes, yeah. And only just because I gave him that respect. Thank you. A thank you goes a long way. Showing, giving flowers, showing your appreciation. I tell Art all the time, Art, Chris, all of them, thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Even if it's something small, thank you. It means the world to me. But you got to really show it. Because I'll show up before them. I'll pull into the parking lot, be waiting for them to show up. As soon as they pull up, what are we lugging in? I'm not performing tonight, but I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here to help. What can I do to help? And that's earning your keep, giving to get. And it's so exciting. I feel like a big kid right now. Plus, I haven't been able to talk like this and let this out. This is the first time I've actually been able to been interviewed. I've had little interviews before, but it's just, they didn't really know what they were doing. They weren't asking the right questions, and they weren't really, they just wanted to know, oh, yeah, so tell us about yourself, As soon as you get to going, they're like, oh, yeah. So now this and now that, and okay, so when are you performing? It's like, it's only been 15 minutes. Can't really get a lot out in 15 minutes.
Right.
And, this is the first time I've actually been able to talk. I don't talk to nobody. It's always like, hi, bye, whatever, And I feel like a big kid right now because, I'm shy. Honestly, I'm a little shy. Stay away from people because I get very overwhelmed. But right now I'm so excited because it's happening. It's happening. Everything I've been talking about for years is happening now. And hence, I had mentioned earlier, I got some old schoolers coming out just because I put up that post. And they're excited to see what I've been talking about for years. Now they want to see it. And they're giving me that blessing. Like, hey, Mike, I'm there. I got you. I'm there. I'm happy for you. I want to see what all this talk about all these years, this craziness, I want to see what it's about. And yeah.
You've had it overwhelmingly.
Yeah, it's been overwhelming. Like
last few months, while it's all taking off, coming together.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Like a circle.
I knew it was going to happen. I told her this. I was like, it's going to happen. I don't know when, but when it happens, it's the ball's going to roll. This ball has been rolling hard, and I mean really hard. My phone's been blowing up. Like right now, I have it on silent. I'm kind of using the other one. My phone has been blowing up. since I've made my, like letting people know, like I'm back now, but now I'm really, really back in a big way.
Mhm.
Just to give you an idea, like I said earlier, I'm booked for the next 6 months. And I just became, I'll see, I'm part of a band now. So I'm going to be getting back into that scene because I used to be playing the band. I used to be hard the band scenes out in Houston. I played Fitzgerald. I was a DJ.
Oh, nice.
Played Fitzgerald.
Nice.
Yeah, with a band that I helped put out there. Shout out to them. I wish them well. It is what it is. But yeah, I was heavy into the metal scene, into the industrial scene, the goth scene. There's only one way to answer this. Oh, you're a DJ? What do you play? There's only one way to answer that question. I play everything. That is the definition of a DJ.
And a good sound engineer. What kind of shows do you do? Wherever there's sound, I'm there.
Right.
Everyone
Wherever.
deserves a stage. You know what I'm saying? Yep. The only kind of gigs that I won't take is if there's going to be elements of hate speech, violence, ignorance of that kind of nature,
Right.
I did a gig recently, like I said, that I took my my M32R and my wireless rack with, and they're like, "We're going to do a political event. Would you be available to hire?" I was like, "As long as it's a peaceful demonstration."
Right.
I'm not going to go there to rain on anyone's parade about your opinions or whatever, but if it's a peaceful demonstration, that's fine because everybody deserves a stage. Okay, right. I'll run sound at your bar mitzvah, at your christening, at your at your Hanukkah party. I don't care, because everybody deserves a stage. Somebody deliver the same quality of high quality production at every show because that's what we do. Okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
And you got to be open-minded. I've learned so much and in different scenes. And I'm a metalhead. I'm a true metalhead. Yeah. And when I say metal, I'm talking like Lamb of God.
Nice.
Old school Guar, strapping young lad. Like I love metal. Metal to me is beautiful. It's so many. Metal reminds me of trance music. In a crazy way. It reminds me of trance music.
Well, yeah, you're not wrong because the math checks out because metal, all those kind of, chords and transitions and harmonies derive from classical, which is, the omega of beginning music kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So, and then when you guys producers come up with your melodies and things like that, it doesn't matter from what genre you're going for, you're coming from that OG era of music, music composition. So that's why I tip my hats off to you DJs. I'm like, they're not just DJs. They're not just like, no, they're not a they are composers. They're lyricists. They're instrumentalists. They're the whole show. You know what I'm saying? Yep. I'm reinforcing the sound. I'm pushing faders. You know what I'm saying? I might be sorting some stuff to buses and mixes and things like that, compressing, but I mean, I'm just, I'm enforcing it.
Right.
But you guys are creating the energy from the birth, from the egg hatching. And then you're like, oh, that was a beautiful hatching. Now watch me do this. And it's like,
watch it grow. Yep.
Well, I got to pick your brain about one thing very importantly, because you were talking about stage production, things like that. And I like your idea of your 360 stages that you have coming up. But, and I'm not going to say names because I don't want to put dirt on anyone's name. I don't know the full story, but I went to a past event a couple years back. It was in an open field area. They had 3 stages and it was electronic house music kind of thing, whatever. So they had mostly DJs working in these stages. They had 2 stages, kind of like this.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they had another one, like maybe 100 feet, 150 feet away, like kind of in another corner, like somewhere right here. I was in the middle and I could hear all 3 of them simultaneously.
Oh,
yeah, could you shed on some light if based on your opinion, if that was maybe poor, you know, stationing of the stages, or maybe it could have been specific DJs, engineers that were not mixing accordingly. What could have been the reasoning behind that?
I have no idea what event you're talking about, but just based on what you're telling me and how the stages were, I thought, to me, the first thing I'm going to think is there was the placement of the speakers were poor. Mm-hmm. Not only that, the spacing was poor. Mm-hmm. Was poor. Now, you know, and that's what I love about these this festival campgrounds, by the way, because each area respects. You know, there's so much distance between each stage that we went there. There was like, they had about almost 8 stages that night that we went there to go check the walk arounds, and you couldn't even hear them.
Wow.
You couldn't hear them because they had, you know, he told me, he was like, yeah, the stage is over here, but the speakers are faced that way.
Yeah.
This is what I was here, and they're at this one. They're at this level. Each stage, it brings its own sound and ambiance. So, you know, for example, one stage could be hardcore. It's going to have that gum, 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 gum. Right. So you want to put that one in the jungle, you know, you want to put that one in the back. Mm-hmm. Then you have a trance stage. You want clarity. So you're going to want to put that one way away from the rumble, you know what I mean? But it's also about spacing and I feel like speaker placement, you know, and with this 360 stage, full production idea that I have, which I'm going to make happen because I've done it in my, you know, I had a shed in the back, in my old backyard, and I set the speakers up. So give it away. Copyright Mike Legacy idea now. I'll play it. But this idea that I have is where I'm gonna have my, you know, the subs, you know, the lows and the subs, the middle, and then have, you know, your mids spaced out more, and the highs literally up. Like the way I had my, you know, for example, the shed was kind of like this. I had all my subs and lows right here, dead center. And then I had about 10 speakers, and then those were my mids in the middle of the walls, placed all around. Then I had the highs going on the roof. So it was literally a 360 dome of down. And I had them all faced to where it all hit. Mm-hmm. You know, so when the bass hit, you felt it from the core, right in the middle of the room, and then it just spread out. Mm-hmm. And that's my idea of a true 360. Like the way I'm, you know, envisioning it, because I love sound manipulation. Yeah. You know, I'll take I learned, I paid attention and learned the hard way. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about here. So where I was able to take, a stem of a guitar and have it circle the speakers. Mm-hmm. So, you know, if I had, you know, a speaker in each corner, you'd hear each note hit, but it would circle. And then that's what I want to do. I want to put on a show, not only, you know, a stage production, a stage show, but with the music, you know. And I've done this at a couple of shows where I had one dude, he was going in circles. Like, are you hearing that? He's like, bro, it's like, it's circling. And I was like, you heard that? He's like, you're doing that? I'm like, yeah, man. Yeah. And I'm starting to notice that, you know, people are going to, you know, if these days people want to appreciate, you know, the show now, let me put on a real show. Let's put on a real show. Mm-hmm. Let's think outside the box. I lit myself on fire at one show, just for example.
On some Rammstein stuff? You lit yourself on fire on some Rammstein?
Yeah,
oh my goodness.
Literally. Like I ran like right before I got on stage, ran to the side, and I went about it the right way. One of my friend's husband was he was a firefighter. So he came there and it killed him. He's like, I can't believe you're doing this, Mike, but all right. You know, you got to throw your fire extinguishers. I'm like, I'm not even worried about that. I just want to do this, you know? So I set myself on fire, ran to the front of the stage. You know, it brought something different. And now, even to this day, I see people like, you're the guy, you lit yourself on fire all day. Yeah, man, yo, you been a great set. Because I had their attention. You know, I grasped their attention. That's like a completely off the wall, you know. This guy set himself on fire? Yeah. I bet, you know, let's see what he's really about.
You didn't hurt yourself, though, right?
No.
Okay,
I hurt myself rehearsing, and it's online. I have a video. I'll send it to you. You can post it online. I was practicing in my backyard, you know, like, all right, doing one arm, feeling it out. And I got 3rd-degree burns because I left an opening in one of the sleeves.
Oh.
And you see it in the video. You see the fire breathing. And, you know, me ignoring it because I'm just thinking, you know, it's just fire, you know. No. The firefighter, he told me that. He's like, you see that right there? It was breathing. He goes, yeah, oxygen is your worst enemy with fire. Because that is the worst enemy. And you see in the video, I'm sitting there like, oh, okay. And it goes, pop. And my arm got toasted. You know, toasted.
Oh, my God.
But I pulled it off at the show. It's great. Everything worked out. But a week before that, yeah, my arm was done. My arm was done for him. But it's just things like that, you know. I'll do it for the love. I'll do it for the love of just performing. Prince and Michael Jackson are my idols. Are my idols because they put on a full-fledged show. Prince was a mastermind with sound. You know, he would show up to all his the arenas and the venues. He would show up early and do an actual sound check. You know, this is reverbing off of this. This is bouncing off of that. We can't have that. And I learned that. You know, Michael Jackson, everything is timing. So that's how I was able to learn how to be on one side of the stage and get to the other in a timely fashion. As long as everything is set up, you know, structured, you know, accordingly, anything is possible on stage. So with this 360 idea I have, I wanted to eventually spread out to where it goes, you know, one show it's going to go from the core, the middle of the dance floor, and then slowly it's going to make its way out. You know, and I got this idea from the movie Juice. When the dude went to the DJ battle, they had one DJ booth here, and they had one DJ booth here. So in my mind, I always thought, like, what if you had them all in a circle? And at the end of the night, everybody who performed on each stage plays together in one big circle. You know, that to me, that's a show. That's a finale. You know, that's what I would pay to see every week. Love to see that. But, you know, when it, you know this, working with artists, you've been in the scene for a long time. You know, you get artists, you know, you get the scene, it comes with egos. And some people, you know, they're stuck in their ways, you know. I'm an open book. I'm always down to play with anybody. You know, I can't play with everybody. Some people just, you know, you can't vibe with, but something like that, to be able to freestyle with another artist, you know, it's jazz.
Yeah.
It's a form of jazz that I've been thinking of just going out there and jamming out.
Exactly. And real quick, for those that are listening, please do not attempt. Okay. Mikey Lexi's professional, so do not attempt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Always safety first,
I wasn't
everybody.
a professional at first, but I am now. I am now. Yes. Trial and error on that, for real.
Yes. Definitely, though, I commend you for taking your stage performance as serious as your music quality performance as well. Like, that just adds even more elements and dynamics to your artistry as a DJ producer, which let's take the name back DJ, because DJs are valued. They deserve the respect and the appreciation as any other kind of artist in the industry. Okay. Whether you're a bedroom DJ or a DJ like Mikey Legacy coming from, the 90s and forward kind of thing. Let's put respect back on the name because y'all do deserve that respect.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard.
Yeah.
You make it look easy, but it's hard,
It's
and yeah, it's exactly. It's work. And I told you this. We have the biggest responsibility. A DJ has the biggest responsibility in the music scene, and it's overlooked. A famous artist's music is being heard and spread around by DJs. On the radio, a DJ's playing it. They're being heard. They depend on us to get their music out there in the club every week, wherever it is. We have a responsibility. And I take that seriously. Plus, it's a way of getting around copyright infringements. I've been beaten so many cases with that. I really have. I'm like, I'm not making money. I'm a DJ. This is my job. I'm supposed to play your music, I've gotten away with a lot. I've done some wild things, but I never got paid for it. I never took advantage of stuff like that. But I got a lot of trouble, and people overlooked that. Mm-hmm. One of the cases I had, dude looked at me and goes, "Huh, you're right. I got nothing. He's a DJ. Probably gonna see him next week."
Yeah. Yeah.
We have, as a DJ, we have a responsibility to play other DJs' music, even to that. I love deadmau5. I love deadmau5 because he came out and he was honest. He was honest about what he, I'm not a DJ. I'm a producer. I'm a composer. I'm a musician. I'm not a DJ. He goes up there, he plays, he's openly admitted. Pre-recorded sets. He's not a DJ. Playing my music. But he loves hearing other people play his music. But he's very honest about it. And that's one thing I will never do. I will never kill somebody, their spirit or anything like that. Sometimes it's a hit or miss. You just might ask me one day, "Hey, man, you heard my set?" "Yeah, bro, yeah. What'd you think?" There's only two ways to answer it, but I will answer it nicely. "Dude, that was badass, great, hell of a set, man, blah, blah, blah." Or, truthfully, you had a great track selection. Because I will never want to kill somebody's drive, to get where they want to be. Because I've seen it. I've seen a lot of old schools just crush people's, "Oh, you suck. This mix was horrible, it was off." It's like, at least they have the balls to get up there and try. And they keep coming back. And that's what I look for. I look for people like that, who just keep going. And I never want to kill anybody's spirit because I wasn't great. I'm still learning. I started somewhere. I've had nights where I was off completely. It's not how it's not when you mess up, it's how you mess up. No DJ is perfect. No musician is perfect. You got to know how to be great, but you also got to know how to suck, and make it sound great. If that makes any sense at all, because I've had nights where I was off. People are like, "Dude, it was amazing." Oh, no. No, not at all. But yeah, I'll never kill somebody's spirit. If you want to be a DJ, go out there and get it. Just know it comes with a lot of work. It's not just up there playing music. You got to know your music. You have to know music. There's not. You go to my track list, thousands of tracks. There ain't a track that I don't know in there. When something hits, a vocal hits, a sound. I know every aspect of it. It's not all fun and games. It's not all fun and games, but it is fun and games. This is so refreshing.
And that's what y'all really need. Y'all that are listening and watching, that's what y'all need to really, really listen to what he's saying right there, is that know your music. And it's not about that you messed up. It's about how you messed up, learning from what you messed up from. Okay. And just having the stand to just say, it's okay. It's not embarrassing. It's humbling. Yep. I'm going to learn from this. I'm going to grow from this. I'm going to continue. There is going to be tomorrow. The only thing that's going to stop you from tomorrow, you.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing that oasis, ocean, Atlantic, Pacific, all that jazz of wealth, man.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
The pleasure's all mine, man. And I hope that we were able to give you a better experience about podcasts and interviews from today's session. I know we're not the most, biggest budget, whatever kind of thing, but we still do try, just like yourself, to deliver the best experience possible.
And thank you. I loved I would love, you can have me anytime. Anytime, girl.
Hey, I'm there. And I'm going to hold you to that. I'm always interested in having guests come back on, and heck yeah. I'm always down to have guests to come back on. Yeah. To see what y'all are doing. Heck yeah, man.
Absolutely.
So do you have any last little bit of advice for the listeners?
I wouldn't call it advice, but just favorite movie growing up was A Bronx Tale. And Robert De Niro said in that movie to his son, the saddest thing in life is a waste of talent. Saddest thing in life is a waste of talent. You got talent doing anything. Don't waste it. Do not waste that talent. You don't want to be 70 years old like, I could have been where, I can humbly say, like, I chased everything I wanted and I got it. If I was to die tomorrow, I would be okay with it because I chased everything. I lived it. I've been there and now I'm going back there. So taste it, just keep going. Don't waste your talent. Don't waste your talent. Don't just sit there and rot. Sit there and bloom. Grow. That
part. Okay. Yep. We may have been an embryo, but I mean, just like the seed, we bloom.
Right.
If you're not nurturing it, you're dying. And you got decades later to do that. You can worry about that in a couple decades. You're not going to worry about that right now. Okay. Nope. All right. Don't waste your talent. Okay. Nurture that embryo, that seed, whatever you want to identify as, dinosaur egg, Yoshi egg. I don't even, nurture it, share it. Okay. Because even if your talent is cutting out little hearts and, the little strings, for the classroom, don't waste it. Don't waste it. Well, thank you all so much for joining us today. And we'll talk to y'all next time.